Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur. I am your host for this evening, and I'm excited to be here. You know, at Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. And tonight, folks, we have some good stuff that we're going to be talking about. It's all about your credit. So go get your credit report. If you don't have it, go pull it up right now and come on back here and sit around the table and let us talk with you a little bit tonight. You know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. So you can't give what you don't have. So first you must grow yourself in order to grow others. Now, we believe that outstanding leaders like yourself will help us to help others. So tonight, folks, we have the credit czar in house.
I've been called many things. I haven't been called that yet.
Well, you know, the credit czar is the person that's in charge of everything.
Yeah, I like
it. So Miss Carrie Goodley is with us in the house tonight. And let me give you a little bit about Carrie. Carrie Goodley is the Chief Executive Officer of Goodley and Associates Consulting. She is a proud alumna of McNeese State University. She is a wife, a mother, and our boss. BOSS, capital letters, bold, quotation marks, underline, and all of that. Carrie's area of expertise are credit restoration, budgeting, business credit building, business funding, and financial planning. So folks, if you're looking to help your credit get better personally or in your business, you need to be reaching out to Carrie. Carrie takes pride in her service-oriented approach to help clients reach their financial goals. Her mission is to empower those in our communities to take control of their financial situations. Carrie believes this can be achieved by giving people the knowledge they need to make sound financial decisions. So welcome, Miss Carrie Goodley, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, I am excited and glad that you're here. And folks, so here's the thing, folks. I'm gonna play this little music so we can get this bumping and started right. And then I want to make sure that you are ready to take your credit to the next level. So give me 1 second here to get this up, and we're going to play this, and then we're going to get going. All right. So here we go.
Got the team for you. We got the dream for you. We do our thing for you. Credit come clean for you. But this ain't no metaphor. We can take your credit score. You can get what you ready for. A new house or a new car. I got the team for you. We got the dream for you. We do our thing for you. Credit come clean for you. But this ain't no metaphor. We can take your credit score. You can get what you ready for. A new house or a new car. We got a dream. Just holler at my team. Got a house with a lien. Make the credit come clean. You got them student loans. Collectors won't leave you alone. They always hit up your phone. You need to give us a call. They give you new peace of mind. We say your credit be fine. Whenever you hit up a line, you get your credit in line. You get the new score in time. Now you an 8 when you used to be 5. You eating steak when you used to eat fries. Wanna get straight and just holler at the guys. I got the team for you. We got the dream for you.
All right, folks, we are ready for you tonight. So we are bringing the credit czar with you tonight, Miss Carrie Goodley, and we just gonna dive right in. And hey, folks, you can connect with us just on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you are. Just type in a question if you have a question. We're ready for you. So, Carrie, let's just start off with talking a little bit about your business first. So tell us everything about Goodley and Associates Consulting.
Oh my gosh. So Goodley and Associates Consulting is really one of those full service financial firms. So we help our clients with their credit. We help them with budgeting. If they have student loan issues, we help with that. We help with tax preparation. We even help on the business side. So if you have a business and you're trying to get up and running, we help our clients register their business with the state. whatever state that they're in, their Secretary of State. We help them build their business credit so they can eventually get capital and generate cash flow for their business. We even help with debt consolidation loans on the personal side and business funding on the business side. So when I say we are one of those well-rounded financial companies, I know a lot of people know that I do credit repair, but we do so much more. And that was really my vision for Goodley and Associates. When we got started, we went heavy with credit repair because that was a huge need in my area, and I just wanted to address a need. But through my business evolving and just God speaking to me and saying, hey, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to help people. That vision was to be a well-rounded financial firm. And I think we've pretty much gotten there.
Okay, well, that is awesome. And here's the thing. I know that a lot of people need help with their credit score, need help with understanding, how to improve their score. So tonight we're going to be talking about that. Well, how do people improve their score? Now, she's not going to give away all the secrets, folks. If you want all the deep secrets, you need to go to Goodley and Associates. You see her website scrolling across the screen here. But we're gonna share some stuff with you, folks. So, why do you think financial literacy is so important, especially in our community? Why is that so important?
Well, being financially sound is the only gateway that you have to financial freedom. It's the only gateway that you have to be able to close the wealth gap and to generate wealth and to build a legacy for your descendants and your kids. You have to start with yourself. So if your credit or your finances is not where you need to be, but yet you have this vision of building, you have to start at ground zero. You are the foundation, and the foundation that you lay for yourself is what will affect your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids and everyone down your lineage that will come after you. So that's why it's so important. It's because of what you get to leave behind if you are financially stable or if you do that for yourself.
Yeah. So if you're looking to leave a legacy for your kids, for your grandkids, your great grandkids, whoever, you need to start now with these type of things. And I absolutely love it. And so credit monitoring. All right. You hear so many things about credit monitoring that it's, you should be doing it on a weekly basis, monthly basis. What's your philosophy on credit monitoring in terms of importance, and how often should people be checking their credit?
Well, first things first, credit monitoring is absolutely essential. Whether you feel like you need it or not, you should always know what's going on with your credit file to make sure that the activities that are, or the things that are being put on there actually belong to you. That's the first thing. The second thing is to make sure that you're monitoring your score at the right place. So I know a lot of people use Credit Karma, Credit Wise through Capital One, or Credit Journey through Chase. Those are some of your big banks that provide free credit monitoring. But you know what they say about free? You get what you pay for. And when you're not paying for anything, you kind of get, the data that's being presented to you is not always the most accurate. So let's just say we take Credit Karma, for instance. Our personal credit reports to 3 main bureaus for the most part. You can only see 2 of those there at Credit Karma. You can only see your Equifax and your TransUnion. You can't even see your Experian credit report. Not only that, but it doesn't provide you with a FICO score. So a FICO score is what most lenders will look at when they're determining, are you credit worthy, or do I want to make a loan to this person? Credit Karma, Chase Credit Journey, Credit Wise, all of those companies, they provide a Vantage score. Lenders don't even use a Vantage score to qualify you, and your Vantage score can actually be very different from your FICO score. So, make sure that you are monitoring your credit, and make sure that you are looking in the correct place to monitor your credit. So websites that I recommend are, you can use Experian.com, you can use myfico.com, or you can use MyScoreIQ. All of those provide FICO 8 scores and the 3 bureau credit reports for all of the bureaus. So those are the best places to get your score. Now, I'll take it a little bit further. If you are in the market for a home, let's just say you're trying to buy a house and you want to know what your score is. Your lender is going to qualify you based on your mortgage FICO. The only place you can get all 3 of your mortgage FICOs without having a mortgage lender actually run your credit, and put a hard inquiry on your file is myfico.com. That is the only place you can get all 3 of your mortgage FICOs. And again, your lender is actually going to qualify you based on your middle mortgage FICO score. So it doesn't matter which bureau is the highest or the middle or the lowest. What matters is what score is in the middle.
Look at that, folks. Dropping gold already.
Yeah, I just dove straight in, huh?
You better know what your score is. You don't want to go show up to that car dealer. You don't want to go show up to get that mortgage, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 you can't get it.
A lot of people get surprised at the lender's table, and sometimes it's not a good surprise.
Right. Yeah. And fellas, look, let me tell you what, that girl's going to walk out on you if that score not right. I can't get that house. I came back to get that car. Oh, I'm out of here. So you better go get it checked out.
She walks out on you, leave her where she's at. She needs to be willing to build with you.
She was there for the score. Like, we're just joking, folks. All right, we're just joking. All right, don't get mad. So, what are some of the pitfalls of not monitoring your credit?
Well, just not knowing where you are and being surprised whenever you do try to get a loan. If you walk on a car lot and you don't know what your credit score is, you can be gravely disappointed, or you can actually get taken advantage of. I know a lot of people that go to the car lot and I'm just using car buying as an example because this happens a lot. People go to the car lot and they don't know what their auto FICO score is, because you have an auto FICO with each bureau, and that is the score that when you're trying to buy a car, that dealer is going to pull that specific score, and it can be different from all of your other scores, but it's weighted on how well they feel like you're going to pay your car note or your auto loan. So what they'll do is, if you don't know where your score is, they'll get your financial information, like your social security number, and they'll just send it out to about 10, 12 different lenders to see who bites on it. But if you are empowered and you know what's on your credit report, you know what your auto FICO is, you can walk into a dealership and say, hey, listen, this is my score. I know what my score is. You can run my credit to X amount of dealers, because this is what I'm just sharing what I do when I buy a car. When I go to the car dealership, I say, this is my score. When you're talking to the finance manager and you let them know what your score is, they should know then the top 3 financing companies or banks that will give you the best rate and the best approval odds for your score. They know that if they've been in the industry long enough and they're well versed at what they do. So you should only have max 3 inquiries if you know where you stand. That helps you to be empowered. So if you know where you stand and you know your score is strong enough, you also won't be getting taken advantage of as far as interest rates, because a lot of people don't know this, but at the car dealership, they can actually jack up your rate to make more money on your loan. The car dealership can.
Okay, so see, folks, right there, that just lets you know you have to be, just like we talk about in the leadership development space, you have to be intentional in order for growth to happen. You have to be intentional in order for your career to take off and go to different levels. You have to be intentional about your credit and your credit score and understanding what it is and what it's not, so that when you go into a lender, see, this is how predatory lenders really make their way. When you don't know, they can tell you anything. Right.
Or if you don't ask questions. Not necessarily that you need to know everything when you walk into a car dealership, because I don't know everything, but I ask questions, and I want to see before you write up that loan and I sign them papers, I want to see what all the interest rates, all the little fees that's included. I want to see that whole sheet, and I want to see the invoice if I'm buying a new vehicle. What the invoice look like?
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome, folks. So Carrie Goodley with Goodley and Associates is here, and she's talking about the impact of, really, we're talking about finances, but we're talking about specifically tonight how your credit score can help you or hurt you, and how you need to empower yourself by knowing what's on your credit report. So, I know that you can't help everybody, right? No, you're the credit czar, But sometimes you got to say, yeah, we're going to check back in 6 months. Call me later. And I'm just kind of being a little bit facetious, but sometimes you can't help everybody move their score up right away. So what do you do in those situations?
So generally, the reason I wouldn't take someone into my program is so what I'm looking for is someone that's engaged. I'm not looking for someone that I have to babysit because I'm helping adults. So I want to work with people that are engaged, that genuinely have a drive to better themselves. They're not just looking for someone that can magically wipe their credit file clean. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to build credit. That's really not the ideal client, because with credit repair, people may or may not tell you, in order to get the score you want, you have to build credit. It's not just about getting deletions or trying to wipe everything derogatory from the credit file. Because say, for instance, let's just say you're a client of mine and you come to me and I pull your credit file and everything on there is derogatory, and one shot out of 100, I'm able to get every single thing that's derogatory deleted from your credit file. Well, nothing's on there. So you wouldn't even have a score at that point. So that's why it is so important when you enroll into a credit repair program, you need to be asking questions like, are you just going to be disputing stuff for me, or are you going to help me build my credit as well? Because it goes hand in hand. To have a strong score, you have to build positive credit. And if in the event you cannot get everything removed, that's okay, because you've built your credit in a way that is so aggressive, the good will outweigh the bad. And that's how you see people get those strong credit scores. So those are the type of people that I look for. Also, what I do is when I'm having a free consultation with someone, I look to see if they're currently late on any of their bills. And unfortunately, I'm not able to take people that are currently late on their bills. And it's not that I'm not able to, I choose not to, because here's the thing. Let's just say I get into, you pay me and I get into your file and I start working and we're doing good. We're getting stuff deleted. You're building credit, but you have that one bill that you are just not paying, and every month it's reporting late. You're paying me, but you are not seeing the full benefits of the program because you're not paying your bills on time. So that's going to make you frustrated. And it's really no fault of ours. You're just not paying your bill on time. So I will tell people, not necessarily 6 months, but hey, make sure you get current on that car note, or make sure you catch up on that credit card bill. And once it says current, or once you can show me that you are not past due on it anymore, I'd be happy to enroll you. But we got to make sure that before people enter the program, they're positioned to get the best results while they're with us.
Awesome. I like that. So folks, you have to, so what I want you to understand, and listen to me very clear, folks, there's only so much that the credit repair professional is going to be able to do. There's some part of it that you have to take some responsibility and accountability for. There's some parts of it that you have to then say, all right, I got to control this. I have to pay this on time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a twofold thing. You're not going to just drop off their file and leave her office and tell her, work the magic. I'll be back in 6 months.
Yeah, it doesn't work on that.
Well, I'm just being real. That's what some people want, right?
No, but yeah, it's not what some people want. It's what most people want. And so that's why we take the time to meet with them, virtually, and have that conversation to set the expectation up front, because I would rather turn you away from my program than take your money and to not meet your expectations, or for you to feel like I could do something more than what I'm actually able to do. So that's why we have those consultations, and they're free. You get one free consultation and we look at the file and determine, hey, we feel confident that we can help you based on this criteria. We're going to need your help in these areas. This is the timeline that I think it is going to take to get your credit strong enough to where you can meet that goal of buying a house or refinancing your car or doing whatever it is that you're trying to do. This is realistically how long it will take to meet your goal.
Wow. Now, see, Carrie, I got to point some of these things out because sometimes people miss what you say. So let me say this, folks. Here's what she just said. I won't just take your money just for the sake of taking your money. I want to get your money when I know I can help you. So this is how you know, folks, when you're credible, reliable, responsible, accountable people. That she's not just saying, just bring me your money, I'll take it. And if I can do something good, if I can't, oh, well.
No, we don't play that here. We only take your money if we feel confident that we can have a positive impact on you. And listen, my clients are closing on homes. It's evident there. I don't even post who I'm working with. I let them do that for me. And most of my business is referral business anyways. And it's because we operate in a very ethical manner. And if I don't even feel like you need credit repair, I'm not taking your money anyways.
Wow, that's awesome, folks. So we're talking to Carrie Goodley, CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Drug Czar. I'm giving her that new title, the Drug Czar. Oh, I'm sorry. No. You know what?
I don't sell drugs, Cedrick.
No. Let me tell you where that name come from. All right, let me set this proper expectation. So, all right. So some of you folks know. Let me tell you where that comes from. So some of you folks know that I used to be in charge of one of our products in our global marketing organization. Well, and when you're in marketing, you always have a marketing name. So my marketing name was Hollywood. A good friend of mine, counterpart, his marketing name was Drug Czar because he was in charge of our drugs of abuse product line.
Gotcha.
Okay. So when Czar comes to my mind, I always think Drug Czar. I always call him up, hey, Troy, Drug Czar, what's going on? Right. So that's where that came from. Carrie Goodley is the credit czar.
Money, not drugs.
I didn't see. I'm so used to saying drug czar. I didn't even notice I said it until you mentioned it. All right, so we're talking with Carrie Goodley, CEO of Goodley and Associates. All right. So, folks, so Carrie, how are customers equipped to make it through the next big financial crisis? You know, the big one recently was obviously COVID and the shutdown last year. People couldn't work, and so they were worried about their money and how their credit was going to be impacted because they couldn't pay their bills. How do you help people make it through that type of crisis?
I would say that starts with budgeting, and all of my clients get budgeting for free. So the end result is you want to have a surplus at the end of the month to be able to start saving for rainy days like pandemics and things of that nature, or short-term disabilities like getting in a car accident. It's so common for people to get in car accidents and they have short-term disability with their job, but it only pays them a small percentage of what they make. So if they don't have anything saved, they can't make ends meet. Or, we have a tough hurricane season, being able to pay for stuff like that. So it's so important to try to have a rainy day fund. And I tell people start with 3 months. So look at your expenses and what comes out every month, not what you just frivolously spend on, but like your house note, your car note, your insurances, your essential expenses,
Utilities and stuff like that.
Utilities, things like that. And start by saving a month, then 2 months, then 3 months. Then when you get to 3 months, make it a goal to extend your savings of your expenses to 6 months. Usually 6 months is a very, very good buffer to have for, if something happens and you get laid off and you need time, you can actually relax and apply for jobs that fit you instead of just having to take the first thing that comes along because you need a job. You need to get paid in 2 weeks from then, So really start saving instead of spending, and try to save 6 months. Then when you get to 6 months, go to 12, just like make it a game. Yes,
I absolutely love that, folks. And let me tell you what, Murphy will show up just when you're not expecting it. Right. And if you live long, if you don't know who Murphy is right now, just live a little bit longer and you're going to find out who Murphy is, folks. Murphy shows up.
That can happen, Will.
Exactly. And he'll come knocking at that door just when you think everything is going great, and he's going to show up and say, I'm here. Right.
Yeah.
And, so what Carrie is talking about this emergency fund, if you've never heard of it before, folks, it's designed so that, let's say all of a sudden you're driving down the street and your tires blow out. Now all of a sudden you got to go spend $300, $400, $500 on a couple of tires, right? And then they say, well, you really need 4, right? So now you got to spend $400 or $500 on a new tire. See, Murphy just showed up, right? Let's say you get home and all of a sudden your hot water heater goes out. Murphy just showed up. All of a sudden you're at home and your child is bent over in the chair and they're sick and you don't know what to do and you got to go to the emergency room. That's Murphy showing up, folks. If you have an emergency fund, you'll cover Murphy. Now, let me tell you what Murphy is not. Murphy is not blue light special at Macy's and they're having a big sale going on. That's not Murphy. Okay.
You create a separate fund for that.
Yes.
Once you save for Murphy, then you save for Macy's.
There you go. You can call it your M&M fund over there. So, yeah, absolutely right. I absolutely love that. So if a client of yours right now is walking up right behind you right now, what would they say about you and your services?
They would say she's serious. She's about her business. And when you hire me, you get that accountability partner. I'm like that I guess that physical trainer that will tackle you if you go and buy pizza. You know, I'm that person because I have to monitor my clients' credit files every month. And they get progress reports every 40 to 45 days based on when we get results. So I'm looking like Big Brother. I'm looking at the credit file. And if you're doing something that I advise you not to do, I'm going to check you on it. And I'm going to let you know, hey, this is going to keep you from meeting your goal because you signed up because of your goal, not my goal for you. Remember that goal you told me you had and that timeline you told me you wanted to meet it in? Well, guess what? You're holding yourself up. So my clients would say that I'm very upfront. I'm very honest. I don't play games with them. And I love on them, but I love on them hard. You know, I bring the storm, but I can also bring the calm as well.
Awesome. Give that tough love if needed.
Yes.
Awesome.
Because financial literacy is like working out. It's all about conditioning your mindset. And conditioning your mindset doesn't just happen overnight. So to create a good habit, it's going to take 21 days at least. So I'm here to make sure that they're still performing those good habits. Even when they think I'm not looking, I'm looking.
That is awesome, folks. And you know what? Every now and then, everybody needs in seasons in their life, they need accountability, right? They need, say it again.
We all need it.
Yeah, they need someone that's going to help hold them accountable in that situation. See, this is why I don't handle the day-to-day budgeting because I would need a lot of accountability. That's not my area of expertise. I let them handle that type of stuff, right? So I would need Carrie in my life for that accountability to say, Cedrick, I told you not to do this, but you did it anyway. See, folks, so you have to know where your strengths and weaknesses are, right? So if you are a person that needs that accountability, there's no shame in that, folks. All right.
Absolutely none.
Yeah, there's absolutely no shame in it. It's actually a strength when you step up and say, hey, I need help in this area.
Absolutely. Because I know a lot of people that know how to make money. And I know a lot of people that make good money and have bad credit because they don't know what to do with their money. That's just that missing piece that needs to be plugged in. And all they need is a different set of eyes to say, hey, you know, if you just tweak this in this area, or if you did this a little bit differently, you would get a better outcome.
Yes, absolutely, folks. It's definitely not about the amount of money you make. It's what you do with what you make and what you have. And let me tell you, last night, folks, I walked you guys through my journey on the bad decisions and all of this type stuff and how we fixed all of that type stuff. It's not about how much you make.
Yeah.
It's about what you do with it and when you do it. And I told you guys, the guy that I use for my accountability person to help me change my habits, and Carrie at Goodley and Associates, that's what they can do for you as well. So if you need it, I want you to reach out, right? And I want you to just have a conversation. And
it's
she can help you.
It's free. We don't even sell you on the phone. We just tell you what you need and you make the decision if you want to commit to that.
There you go, folks. She gonna give you all of that stuff, a consultation for no charge to help you decide how to change the rest of your life. You know, Eric Thomas says you're either going to be a gazelle or you're going to be a lion. See, the gazelle gets eaten up. The lion is hunting. And if you want to go to another level, you have to be hunting. And hunting means you're working, you're grinding, you're hustling, you're doing things that's going to take you to another level. Credit repair is a part of that hustle and grind.
Yeah, because you can't make major moves if your credit is not together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's keep going here, Carrie. And I promise it's in my head now. I keep thinking drugs. I promise in my head. I'm not going to say it again. Credit czar. So what's been the biggest challenge for you during your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, gosh, I would say growing too fast. That we went through some growing pains last year, and we had to implement some things to make sure, because client experience is really important to me. That's how I get the volume of business that I get. It's because I really don't advertise. I may post a few things here and there, but everything is word of mouth. And my clients come from people in the community that are trusted advisors, like realtors, mortgage loan originators, auto loan finance managers. So my referrals come from people like that. So we experienced, even during the pandemic, a large influx of new clients, and we kind of grew too fast. And that created, some issues with clients that were already on the books not being serviced at the level that I wanted them to be serviced. And they kind of felt it too. And all you have to do is be accountable for that. And figure out how to make sure everyone is getting service the way that they need. And so that would be what I would say what's been the biggest hiccup in my business, is just growing too fast. And at the time, not being prepared for it. Now we've gotten it ironed out. We have automations in place to where our clients feel touches from us at least once a week. Here's a little education tip. Hey, we're working on your file. We haven't got anything back yet. Just to let you know, we haven't forgotten about you. But they're constantly receiving communications from us. And I really like that now, because they're not going a long period of time with silence and then they don't understand what's going on. Our business is so transparent now to where they can literally log into a portal and they can see what date a letter was sent out for them, who it was sent for, what the letter said, what account was disputed, what their score is. The last time I checked their score, they can it's literally like a two-way mirror into our business. So it helps them to see what's going on, and it eliminates a lot of, I don't want to say unnecessary questions, but it eliminates a lot of questions that they can have answers to readily 24 hours a day.
Wow. Well, that is awesome. Anytime you can get some automation going on, and but growing too fast. Well, growth is always a good problem to have, first of all, right? Yes. Growing too fast sometimes can make you end up being like this, but growth is a good problem to have in this situation. Carrie, and you came on the show before. We have a segment that we call "Would You Rather." Right?
Oh, I like that segment.
So we are going to play a little round of Would You Rather. Now, folks in the audience, you can play along as well. Just type your responses to these questions in the comments. All right. So, would you rather have more time or more money?
I'd rather have more time because I can figure out how to make more money.
Absolutely. Love that. Would you rather know all the world's languages or speak with animals?
All the world's languages.
All right. So would you rather pay for everything with pennies or with $100 bills for the rest of your life?
Oh. Am I getting change back? Off the $100 bills?
No, because it's not going to matter, because you can only pay with $100 bill.
Oh, and they get to keep the change. Pennies.
Okay.
At $100, that limits me.
Yeah. Yes. So would you rather see colors that no one else could see or smell smells that no one else could smell?
Colors.
Colors. All right. All right. Let me grab another one here. Would you rather be able to live as long as you wanted or to be the strongest superhero in the whole world?
Live as long as I wanted.
All right. And then how long you want to live?
That depends on how fast I can do everything that find the fulfillment that I want to find.
All right. All right. So then I'm going to ask you this question around it. Would you rather pick the year you die or the way you die?
The way I die.
You know, well, you don't want
the way I die.
You said that pretty quick.
Out in my sleep.
So would you rather fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret?
Biggest wish.
Biggest wish.
Regrets are in the past. They did anyways.
They did anyway. Absolutely. All right. Two more here. So would you rather have free gas for 25 years or have your dream car?
My dream car.
Dream car. All right. Last one. Would you rather have, because I asked everybody this one, would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
Real money.
I'm sorry. I want those.
I'm gonna buy that much from Amazon, and then you have to sell those gift cards to get the cash back. Just give me that real money so I can go ahead and start flipping it right now.
I want those Amazon gift cards anyway, because those boxes with the smiley face show up every day.
Not $1 million worth at this house.
Oh my God. So thank you for playing that round of Would You Rather. So let me see, where did I leave off on my list? Oh, I know. The credit issues sometimes is something that affects a lot of people, right? And no matter what your background is, no matter what your socioeconomic class is, no matter what your gender is, or anything like this, credit issues sometimes play a role in everybody's life at some point.
At some point, yes.
Say it again. At
some point, yes.
Yes. So why do you think this continues to happen, that people continuously have credit issues? So let me give you an example. So you get your credit fixed in a better situation, and then all of a sudden, a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, boom, you're right back in that same thing again. So it seems like it's something that's systemic.
Well, I think the first thing is mindset. And the second thing is lack of knowledge on what actually makes up what formula composes the FICO score. So a lot of people don't know what variables they should even be looking at, or what activities they should be doing to create a positive response in their score, or even just being able to maintain it. So 35% of the FICO score is just your payment history. If you can just pay your bills on time, and I don't mean like, when I say pay them on time, I don't mean you have to pay them exactly on the due date, but you can't be paying your bills 30 days late. That's the thing. So if people would just pay their bills on time, that's a controllable action. So there are things in life that you can control, and there are things in life that you cannot control. Most of the credit scoring formula is stuff that you can actually control yourself. So if you know what those are, you can just take advantage of them and manipulate the formula to create a better score for yourself.
Right.
So for one, just paying your bills on time. 30% of the FICO score is generated from credit card utilization. So if you have credit cards and they're all maxed out, you could be paying those perfectly on time every month, like literally on auto draft, and your score will still be suppressed because you're overutilizing them. So the goal is to have your credit cards at below 30%. Now, lower than that will generate a better score. So if your balance is at 20% of your limits, you'll get a better score than if they were at 30%. 10%, the same thing. So if they're at 10% utilization on your credit cards, your score is going to be, you're going to get extra points for that. And then 5 and 2 and 1%. So the lower the balance, the more your score is going to reward you for that responsible behavior. And then 15% of your score is based on your credit mix. So do you do a good job at having installment loans? Do you always have installment loans on your credit report? The score will actually kind of ding you for just having installment loans and no revolving credit, which is credit cards. Revolving credit is a credit card. But do you do good with multiple types of credit? So the score is actually looking at that, not as much as the 35 and the 30%, but 15% it goes towards that. And then 10% is your age of accounts. How long do you leave accounts open? So if you're a person that goes and gets these little loans that you have to renew every 12 months or every 6 months, that's keeping your credit age low. It looks like you don't keep stuff open long enough to generate enough data. So that's 10% of the score. And then the last 10% is how often do you apply for credit? So are you always having hard inquiries? Like, are you always shopping for cars? Are you always having your credit pulled for credit cards? Or you always letting people pull your credit for different things? So to combat that, you just want to apply for credit only when you need it. So I really think it's just a matter of people not knowing what goes into the scoring formula. So if you don't know the rules to the game, then how do you really play?
The game.
How do you plan to win?
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So folks, see, this is why we have Carrie on here on the show tonight, to help you better understand your credit. Let me put her website back up here. This is why we have her on the show tonight, folks, so that you can better understand how to take control of your credit and really taking control of your life when you do that type of things. Thank you, Crystal, Yvette. I see you out there saying good information. I see you, Deneen, out there saying good information. And I see you say, hey, I'm looking to purchase a new car soon. So this is right on time for you to help you better understand what things you need to pay attention to. So, Carrie, budgeting is one of those things, and a lot of people struggle with. And this is probably one of the biggest areas that cause people to get off course, right? Right. Spending more than you have, and just because your check is $1,000 doesn't mean that you need to spend $1,000, right? So how do you help people learn how to budget and how to get them to stick to that budget?
It's hard, but you have to make people realize that their goals are bigger than their wants. You have to suppress that want to reward yourself every time you get paid and see the bigger picture. What is the light down the tunnel that you're trying to get to? Because rewarding yourself every payday is basically you buying a bunch of liabilities and stuff that's not going to make you money. And your goal may be to acquire an asset. So which would you rather over the long term? You want the asset, or you want a bunch of stuff that you can't resell and makes you no money?
It sounds so simple when she says it, folks, right? But I know when you see that new little shiny object in that store, you're like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it, right?
It does, but just think of how many of those you could buy if you have more assets and more net worth under your name.
Absolutely.
You want to buy one, or you want to buy as many as you feel like buying? You just have to wait a little longer.
A little bit of sacrifice right now, a little bit of saying no to yourself right now. I love one of the things that you said, Carrie, and you said you don't have to reward yourself every time you get paid. You see, because I hear a lot of people say, well, I've been so good this week or these last 2 weeks, I need to reward myself and go out and get something and buy something. Or I've been good for the last 6 months, I need to do it. No, you don't need to do it because you're not done yet. Maybe you need to don't reward yourself for a year because you're not done yet. You see, when you have a bigger goal in mind, sometimes the sacrifice needs to be a little bit longer and the reward needs to wait.
Do you know how you trick yourself into rewarding yourself in a good way?
How's that? So
you give yourself a dollar amount. What do I feel like I deserve this payday? Or what do I feel like I deserve after 6 months? Whatever that dollar amount is, if it's $100, $200, $500, whatever it is, pay yourself cash, but put it in an account that you can't touch. But that's you paying yourself. That is a reward. But it's a good reward.
Yes, I like that. I like that. So what she's saying is you're not going to buy stuff.
Yeah, you're paying yourself.
Yes. And you're building all of a sudden, folks. Now all of a sudden you notice over in that account you can't touch. Wait a minute, I have $1,000 over there. How did I get that like that?
You reward yourself in a good way.
It's amazing how that happens. Now all of a sudden you see, well, you know what? I have $1,000 balance left over here. Maybe now let me just go ahead and get rid of that and be done with it.
What you're doing. It's about the way that you do things.
Yes.
You always want to do things in a way that's positioning you for greater, because everybody deserves greater.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to stop right here just to say this. So I'm an ordained minister, and I want people to understand, because sometimes I hear our Christian folks say, well, you know, the Lord says that, you know, money is just evil. And no, folks, he doesn't say that. He does not say that. Yeah, exactly. In fact, in the Bible, when you think of the Bible, here's what you don't want to think of, right? Mercy, prayer, healing. Well, let me tell you what, money is written in the Bible more than all those three things. You see? And here it's written in the Bible over 800 times. And here's why. See, because he knew that money would take you away from him. So he writes about it to tell you what things you need to do. You just go right to the Bible. It's right there, folks. It may not be written. It says your name. Samantha, you need to go do this. Carrie, you need to go do this. But it's written there with you in mind. And he can help you get through anything you need if you just read it.
If money was evil, they wouldn't have written about the parable of talents.
Absolutely.
And it was at that point where God basically said, I want you to have money, but I want you to be a good steward over it. Grow your money.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the one I absolutely love. He says, the rich will rule over the poor, and the borrower will always be slave to the lender. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be slave to the lender. So get control of your money. Call up Goodley and Associates, folks, and she can help you. She is the credit czar, folks. All right. So we talked about emergency fund, but what are two or three reasons that cause people to live paycheck to paycheck?
I believe the first reason is not having a solid budget. A lot of people that don't have a solid budget generally live paycheck to paycheck, and they generally have issues with their credit. And it's not because maybe they don't make enough money. It's because they don't know where their dollars are being allocated. So the purpose of a budget is to know, this is what I have coming in. This is what I'm spending money on. So that way you can intentionally be allocating your dollars, not just be spending money and you don't know where it's going. So that's really the primary issue why people live paycheck to paycheck. It's not because very seldom is it because they make less than their expenses. It's usually because they're spending in ways and they don't realize it. Driving through McDonald's drive-through, to get Happy Meals and stuff, at $5 and $10 each time you do that, that adds up. So the way that you combat that is maybe start cooking at home more. And it's okay to eat leftovers and stuff like that.
Wait a minute. Don't say that too quick now. It ain't no leftovers.
But it's okay. It's not going to kill you.
Exactly.
I mean, do you want to eat leftovers or you want to live paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah.
Eating leftovers is hard.
Those leftovers not that bad.
Paycheck is hard, so you got to choose your hard,
Exactly. Leftovers not that bad. So, hey, here's a question on the screen. It says, how good is Credit Karma?
I don't typically use Credit Karma because it doesn't provide you with all of the information. So Credit Karma is only going to show you two of the three main credit bureaus. So if you're in the process of disputing and you're going off of what Credit Karma is telling you, you're only focusing on 2/3 of your problem. Another thing about Credit Karma that I do not care for is that they use a Vantage score. Lenders don't consider a Vantage score when they're lending money. So if you're using Credit Karma to monitor your credit because you want to make a major purchase, and you think you have one score, you could be very surprised when you get to that finance manager's table or that mortgage lender's table and your score isn't what you think it is.
Great information right there. So glad we're able to help you guys with understanding that. So, what do you say to a person that says, I can't afford financial literacy course, or I can't afford, your credit repair service?
I say that's okay. You have to determine what is more important to you, because you can't afford to have bad credit. People that have bad credit or subprime credit scores, they get hit with more no's than yeses. So it's harder to get finance for the things that you need. And you actually would pay more than a person with good credit. Sometimes it's double. So which would you rather, to not be able to afford or work to afford a small fee, or to pay double with someone with a better score over the lifetime of certain loans? So you just have to determine what is more important to you. We have two different packages. One is $249 to enroll, one is $499 to enroll. Typically, a person with bad credit over the life of a car loan can pay $10,000 to $20,000 more over the life of that car loan. So which fee is better?
Wow. Right there, folks. If you're still saying you can't afford it, folks, right there, she just told you. And
it's really just all about putting things into perspective for people, because your perspective is different from mine. If we sat a globe in the middle of you and I, you're seeing one side and I'm seeing another, and my side doesn't look like yours. So all it takes is for someone to put something into perspective for you. This is your risk. This is your risk of having bad credit. This is how much it hurts to have bad credit. You don't get to get the things that you want, and you have to pay more than people that do have good credit. So which would you rather? And it's okay to say, well, I can't afford it right now, but I know my needs are greater. So I'm just going to put a little bit of money away until I can afford it.
Yes. Folks, this is why we have the credit czar right here, Miss Carrie Goodley with Goodley and Associates, helping you better understand what you can do. Reach out to her at goodleyandassociates.com, and she can help you better understand her service. She can help you get registered for her service. She can help you just better understand your needs and what direction you need to go in. So reach out to her at Goodley and Associates. So what are one or two things that you would say that you've learned about yourself being a business owner?
Well, I have learned that impact to me is more important than popularity. I'm kind of a loner. I don't really seek to be like with the in crowd. My goal is to help as many people reach their goals with my help than a lot faster than they would if they were doing it by themselves. And the amount of impact that I have on my community is what gives me the fulfillment to keep me excited about doing what I do, and to keep me excited about being able to serve people. Because when my client calls me crying or texts me a picture of them standing in front of their house, and I help open that door for them, that is monumental. To help a person get into a home that they didn't think that they could get into, it's life-changing. So I would say that is the most important thing about what I do, to me, is having the impact. And the second thing would be the freedom. I became a business owner because I'm not a very good employee. I promote freedom of thought, and I'm very vocal about, how I feel, not in a disrespectful way, but, I challenge people. That is just my nature. And it's for the good of them and for the company. And that really, a person that thinks independently of others is generally not a good employee. Unfortunately, I know my weakness. I don't do a good job of working for people, but I wanted to be able to decide for myself what I could make. I wanted unlimited income. I wanted freedom, and I wanted to be able to be impactful to other people around me. Because if everybody in the room except for you is broke, then you are not doing your job. You really aren't.
Right. Absolutely. So, folks, here's what I like what she said. the first thing is impact. So for those in the leadership development space, let me tell you what she's saying. She wants significance over success. See, success is adding value to yourself. Significance is adding value to other people.
And then the success follows, though, naturally.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the second thing that I love that you said is the freedom, right? And I love the Toni Morrison quote that says, the function of freedom is to free someone else. And that's what you're doing every day in your business at Goodley and Associates, helping people understand how to free themselves of debt, credit issues. Even when you raise your score up, you kind of free yourself a little bit in terms of how much money you're going to have to pay for certain goods and services. Wow. Absolutely love that. Impact and freedom, folks. Those two things, if that doesn't compel you to do something, then, I don't know what else will. So two more questions for you. So what would you say? Well, nobody's home right now. So it's just you and your four walls right now. All right. What dessert are you going to eat?
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu. Okay. Okay. All right. That's a good one. That's a real good one. All right. So then the last question I have for you, which is, if there was a book, Carrie, that was written about you, what would the title be? And what would the summary in the back of the book say about you?
So the title would be Phoenix Rising. And it would talk about how a single mom developed into a wife, a mom, a boss, and helped lead people out of the same trials that she once found herself in. Because I was that, the people that I helped, I was that person. The worst client, the person with the worst credit score, that was me after a financial hardship. And so when you mentioned earlier about someone having credit issues at least once in their life, that was me. And I wasn't the traditional person that you would expect to have bad credit at that time, because I started out with really good credit. But at least once in your life, you can expect to have some type of financial shift that may not be for your good. And it's all about how prepared you are to come out of it.
Yes.
And that would pretty much, I probably do need to write a book about that. Because I took that pain that I experienced myself and turned it into a roadmap for other people.
Wow. Well, there you go. You definitely need to write a book about that. Having a roadmap for other people to learn and to gain from it really is really what that Toni Morrison quote that I said is really all about, right?
Yeah.
And I want to thank you, Carrie. One, it's the second time you've been on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. And, here we say everybody needs a little TLC. And so it's sort of like Saturday Night Live. When their hosts go on the second time, the host for the night goes on for the second or third time. They're excited about it. So you're on your second time around.
I am. And I made a cameo in someone else's interview.
Exactly. That's right. You sure did. So really third time, right? So I'm going to have to get a trophy or a plaque or something. But I want to thank you very much for coming on, folks.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to tell the audience, look, guys, you should always take your credit score and your credit rating and all of that information. You should treat it as very important. Understand your budget, understanding what you can do and what you can't do. You may not be able to do what your friends can do, right? You may financially be able to do it, but you may not be ready to do that. Because you have a different goal. Your goal may be to go to a higher level. So that means you might have to restrict yourself. You may be right now sitting on making $200,000 a year, but you can't afford to live at $200,000 a year because you want to retire soon. And you have things that you need to do. Goodley and Associates can help you with those things, making those decisions and putting things in proper perspective, folks. don't get caught up in the Joneses, because I talked to them the other day and they said it's hard keeping up with themselves. All right.
Well, they card be declining at Walmart, I heard. That's what I heard anyway.
Yeah. Hey, it definitely happens, folks. So, hey,
with the checkout lady and everything about why they card decline.
absolutely. So, do you want to leave the audience with anything else?
No, what I would say is, if you're thinking about why this applies to you, think about what you feel like you deserve out of life. Think about what your goals are, because everybody deserves to be financially empowered. Whether you want to, some people don't want to be rich. Some people do want to be rich. It's not about having money. It's about if and when you decide to do something, can you just jump up and go and do it? Mm-hmm. And so laying that good foundation, that good groundwork will entitle you to be able to do that.
Yes, absolutely. 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 So folks, coming soon in our private Facebook group, Investing 101, the steps to 1 million. I'm going to start doing weekly 30-minute live session in that group. And it's going to all be around finances, something around finances, whether it's around stocks, mutual funds. And I'm not your investment advisor. I'm just a coach. I'm just going to give you some tips. You need to still talk to your investment advisor, but I'm going to give you some tips, folks, of how to win with your money. We're going to start doing that once a week. I'm going to announce that here next week, what days we're going to start doing it. And if you want to be a member of that private Facebook group, let us know. It's Investing 101, the steps to $1 million. Next week, 6:30 on Talk Leadership with Cedrick, we're going to have Cash Fio. And she's another person that's in a different sector in the financial literacy lane. We're going to have on next Tuesday at 5:30 Central Time, we're going to have Nefertaria Clofas. She's in another phase of financial literacy for you. What I want to say, you can catch me tomorrow at noon for the Cut the Cord Lunch and Learn training, and Thursday on the radio, Talk Leadership with Cedrick, and on the radio at 2 p.m. on IBGR.network. I look forward to being with you again. As always, as I tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Don't be on the menu. Thank you guys, and have a good night.